Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your news report, second stimulus check update, and second stimulus package update. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. Happy Monday everybody. According to the Washington Post, momentum grows on Capitol Hill for economic relief package as a bipartisan group releases two bills. Washington Post reports that a bipartisan group of lawmakers on Monday released two bills that said they would provide the nation with emergency economic relief, as senior congressional officials sounded more hopeful about the odds of approving new relief than they have in weeks. The bipartisan group unveiled one $748 billion package that includes new unemployment benefits, small business aid, and other programs that receive broad bipartisan support. The second bill includes the two provisions most divisive among lawmakers, which is liability protections for firms and roughly $160 billion in aid for state and local governments. So folks, it looks like our politicians in Congress might be able to pass a second stimulus bill with $1,200 stimulus payments before the end of the year. Because remember folks that Joe Biden has just topped 270 electoral votes, affirming his presidential win. So who knows, maybe when Joe Biden's in office, he'll be able to pass even more stimulus relief. Everybody tell me your thoughts on President-elect Joe Biden in the comments down below. And do you think that he'll be able to pass a second stimulus bill with $1,200 stimulus checks? Leave a comment down below saying yes or no. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notifications bell. On this channel, I always provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check updates. So be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Now let's hear what Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says about our second stimulus payments. Everybody tell me what you think of Mitch McConnell in the comments down below. Is he doing what it takes to pass more stimulus relief to the good, hardworking American people? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, everybody.
Nationwide effort to bring this pandemic to heel has begun a critical final chapter. After months of development, the first U.S. doses of COVID-19 vaccine rolled off the assembly line bound for treatment facilities all across our country. I'm particularly proud that an important waypoint on that journey is my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky. Yesterday alone, Pfizer shipped 2.5 million vaccine doses, and less than an hour after their airlift began, shipments bound for the eastern United States were passing through the UPS Worldport Logistics Hub at Muhammad Ali International Airport in Louisville. In the days and weeks ahead, the hard work of Kentuckians at UPS's new Healthcare Command Center in Louisville will play a critical role in finishing this fight. Already, they've helped direct tens of thousands of doses to Kentucky hospitals where they're being administered to the Commonwealth's healthcare workers and most at-risk residents. There's a historic success story being written today along the vaccine supply chain from Missouri to Massachusetts, to Michigan, to Kentucky, to front lines all across our country. And it's emblematic of an approach that has been helping our country since the earliest days of the crisis. From the personal precautions that help save our health system, to the bravery of the doctors, nurses, and other healthcare workers who spent sleepless nights tending to victims of the virus, to the ingenuity of entrepreneurs who've spun out masks and sanitizer or kept serving their customers safely, to the patience of parents and school kids who've had to adapt in extraordinary ways, to our economic efforts to blunt the pain of a self-inflicted slowdown without precedent. All along the way, it's been the heroic, resilient American people fighting and winning this battle, with the government providing smart, targeted, and essential support to sustain them. It's the American people who have brought the light at the end of the tunnel within sight. But Washington has played a key role in creating the conditions for them to do it. That joint effort is how the unanimous bipartisan CARES Act program helped sustain struggling families, prevented millions more layoffs, and gave Main Street a fighting chance. It's how Operation Warp Speed has helped unleash private enterprise and the genius of researchers on a breakneck campaign to cure that. Just a few months ago, the mainstream media was lecturing President Trump would be impossible. At every step, the story of this year has been American workers and families digging deep, muscling through, and lending one another a helping hand with an assist from those of us here in Congress. But there is a problem, Mr. President. The American people's work is not finished. The struggle continues every day. Cases and deaths are mounting. The commerce that sustains small business is still depressed. Working families are still trying to grind through. But recently, Washington has not held up its end of the bargain. For months, literally months, both sides in Congress have known roughly what the shape of a compromise rescue package could look like. We know all the areas where we do not even disagree and should be able to make significant law. But alas, partisan dynamics and political posturing have prevented us from getting more relief out the door, even in areas where nobody even claims to disagree. I don't want to relitigate the last weeks and months this afternoon. Anyone who wants to dole out blame has a clear record they can analyze. But it's time for this body to collectively recognize that finger-pointing doesn't put food on the table for struggling families. Finger-pointing doesn't help people avoid having to choose between Christmas gifts and making rent. And finger-pointing does not do a darn thing to fund vaccine distribution so we can slam the door on this virus as fast as possible and maximize the number of lives we can save. That last point is a concern that state health officials across the country have raised repeatedly. Even with vaccines on the way, many are reporting they don't have the funds to hire enough trained workers or purchase enough PPE to safely administer them as fast as possible. As one health observer put it, quote, "It would be a shame if all the effort on warp speed for development isn't warp speed for distribution." But that is what we risk if Congress can't get our act together and supply the funds to deliver this literal shot in the arm to our people. This is the support that state and local governments need most urgently. Not unfettered slush funds for non-COVID related needs that predate the pandemic, but incredibly urgent, targeted money to get citizens vaccinated right now and finish the fight. But that isn't the only urgent priority that Congress must not leave behind. The same business owners and working families who relied on the Paycheck Protection Program to get them through the bleakest points of the spring and summer are once again facing tough choices. Renewed health restrictions and decreased demand mean that some American jobs that have been sustained all this period may not survive the last home stretch. So, we can help. We can provide a second round of job-saving PPP tailored to those who need it most. And what about Americans who've already lost their jobs in the pandemic?
With that being said, folks, that's all the news in today's video. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notifications bell.